City Attorney. We're going to move forward. Everything initially will be deemed to communicate from the chair, and then when I get another member, we'll just roll it as normal business. So with that said, I got to get used to you guys.
Everybody's gone away from you.
Yeah. Okay, so Ms. Barclay, this is what we want to do. Items 4 through 14, I intend to move on consent. So if you could start by reading item 4, then we can get this committee going. Mr. City Attorney, are you all right?
Fine.
Mr. Clerk?
Good, sir. Thank you.
All right. Let's go.
Meg Barkley with the CLA. Item 4 is a report from the Community Redevelopment Agency and the City Administrative Officer. The CAO report has been provided to the clerk, and a resolution relative to cooperation agreement with the Bureau of Engineering for the renovation of the Estelle Van Meter Center.
Okay, on item 4, we'll adopt the CLA report. That brings us to item 5.
Item 5 is a report from the CRA and the Chief Legislative Analyst relative to a one-year contract with SMWM, Inc. for the preparation of a strategic plan and visioning project in the Earthquake Disaster Assistance Project.
Okay, on that item, we'll adopt the CLA report. In fact, we won't have to do it as a communique from the chair. We have Council President Eric Garcetti is here, so where it relates to items 4 and 5, just so let it be written, so let it be done. That brings us to item 6.
Item 6 are reports from the CRA and the CLA relative to increasing the pool of funds available for various planning-related consulting services for projects and program areas for the period of 2006 through 2009.
Okay, then on item 6, we'll adopt the CLA report. Item 7.
Item 7 are reports from the CRA and the Los Angeles Housing Department relative to a proposed cooperation agreement concerning the ownership, management, and disposition of the Dunbar Hotel. We recommend approval of the CRA and the LAHD reports at this time. The CLA will provide additional recommendations when the item's before council.
Okay, so on item 7, we'll adopt the Housing Department and the CRA report.
Yes.
Item 8, I'm sorry.
Item 8 are reports from the CRA and the CAO and a resolution relative to transferring $100,000 to the Department of Public Works Bureau of Street Services for public improvements on Washington Boulevard.
Okay, on item 8, we'll adopt the CAO report with the technical amendment. That brings us to item 9.
Item 9 is a report from the CRA and the CAO and relative to a loan agreement with Juanita SRO Housing Partners.
Okay, on item 9, we'll adopt the CAO report. Item 10.
Item 10 is a report from the LAHD and the CAO relative to awarding funds pursuant to the Moderate Income First-Time Homebuyer Forward Commitment Program.
Okay, then on that item, we'll adopt the CAO report. Mr. City Clerk, that brings us to what item? I see you over there sleeping.
Item number 11, sir.
Okay, you're all right. You fool me every week. Item 11.
Item 11 is reports from the LAHD and the CAO relative to funding recommendations concerning the homeownership foreclosure assistance request for proposals.
Okay, on item 11, we'll adopt the CAO report. Item 12, there's no need to read. We'll continue that item. Item 13, we will continue that item as well. That brings us to item 14.
Item 14 is a report from the CDD and the CAO and a resolution relative to submitting an application for the Harbor Area State Enterprise Zone designation. The CAO report has been provided to the clerk.
Okay, then on item 14, we'll adopt the CAO report. That's what I think I'll do. Okay. I was going to, Ms. Barclay, I was going to have you read item 15, and I was going to move that on consent, but I have some cards. Individuals want to speak on that, so what I think I'll do is I think we have 4 cards. I'll call up these individuals and let them speak, and then we'll roll item 15. Okay, Dick Slauson and Maria Elena, if you would come forward. Good morning. We're now joined by Councilman Ed Reyes and a surprise visit by Tom LaBonge. Am I in the wrong room or you?
Joint.
Joint. It's Sparks, baby.
I haven't gotten to that
Yeah.
part yet.
Yeah.
He likes to come early.
We haven't gotten to Arch Parks yet. Okay.
Learn from you.
Dick,
Hey, hey.
Good morning, Chairman Wesson
Are you on it back?
and committee members. I'm Richard Slauson, the Executive Secretary of the Los Angeles and Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council, and we're here on an auspicious day. Hopefully, the committee will approve the project labor agreement that has been negotiated by the Los Angeles Community Redevelopment Agency and the craft unions throughout Los Angeles and Orange County, and mostly in the city of Los Angeles, for the work that would be both awarded as public works by the CRA and projects where the CRA is a financial partner in the project. We are looking forward to this agreement being implemented. It will bring job opportunities, and God only knows that in this economic climate, jobs are the basis for the economy for Los Angeles, California, and the United States. We think and have the experience of over 10 years of implementing these agreements that it puts people to work, creates careers in the construction industry for young people that are interested in a hands-on experience in construction, and every aspect of this agreement has been utilized in other agreements that have proven to be effective. Cost savings, time, material, and effort going into construction projects being purely beneficial. And we are very happy. This is a step forward and a new direction in that this, we believe, is the first agreement that will be implemented with a community redevelopment agency in the United States. And we're very hopeful that we will get a unanimous vote at the Los Angeles City Council meeting later today with your recommendation.
you think?
Thank you.
Maria Elena.
Yes, good morning to all of you members. On behalf of the LA County Federation of Labor, of course, we are here to support the building trades and request that you approve this project labor agreement language. And on behalf of the Federation, want to thank everyone at the Community Redevelopment Agency, and in particular Richard Slauson, for months of really hard work in coming up with this PLA language, because we needed it to go forward with this historic policy that was approved just a few months ago. We have worked really hard to build a kind of community coalition, clergy coalition, labor coalition that we know is going to result in thousands of construction jobs in our city, and especially for particular communities that have been neglected. And so, again, we want to make sure that good middle-class careers are opened up to many young men and women. And just lastly, last night I happened to be at the Painters Apprenticeship Hall, and it was quite extraordinary to talk to dozens and dozens of apprentices as they go through a 3.5-year apprenticeship program. I think of painting as just, get a brush and a roller. And it was quite extraordinary to see the depth of the quality and the skills and the training that goes into that apprenticeship program, which I'm sure is the same in all the programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Mr. Chairman, could I,
Yes, of course.
special privilege, just to ask those that are not going to speak today from the trades, many of those who work every day in the construction industry, just to stand up for a
Yeah,
moment,
please.
to recognize
Stand
their
up.
participation.
Give yourselves a round of
Thank you.
Now, I will say this, though, Mr. Slauson. Next time, guys, when you come, and some of you wear hats, you had to bring hats for us. It's just like when you were a kid and you go to school and the teacher would say, if you bring candy, everybody gets candy. So I'm just telling you, so the next time, and I want one of the cool hats with the stickers and stuff all on it. Anyway, thank you, good morning, and welcome all of you. That brings James Woodruff and John Smith.
Put you in the hiring hall, too.
Okay, what about Mike Massey? Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, council members. I'm here today representing labor and management in the union plumbing, piping, and air conditioning industry in Southern California. The United Association of Plumbers and Pipe Fitters asks you to approve the project labor agreement, move it forward to the council. A year ago, we were trying to add more apprentices and more journeymen and more members to our ranks, and we were trying to get, on the contractor's side, more work to enable this. Things have changed dramatically, as Brother Slauson said. Now we are struggling to hold on to the jobs that we have. So this initiative is more important than ever. And I have the privilege today to tell you that on behalf of almost 600 union plumbing, piping, and air conditioning contractors, we support this, we need this, we want to be able to continue to provide the good middle-class jobs that we're able to at this time.
Take your time, Mike.
We need to have initiatives like this to increase employment. We know how important it is to increase the intake into our apprenticeship programs, and by passing this initiative, you will enable us to create more jobs. We thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think it was John Smith and James Woodruff. Are they here as of yet? All right, well then we'll just move it. Are there any questions from the committee?
I just think,
Ms. Perry?
yeah, just the best thing about this, I mean, it's a great thing anyway, but the apprenticeship goals were addressed in the language, and I think for areas like mine and in South LA, that's going to be the part that's most transformative because that enables us to pull people in year after year after year, and not just young people, but people who are out of work and need to go back to work. So, anybody who wants to work, basically. So I think that is the catalytic effect of this, and I'm looking forward to the implementation, especially now when many of the projects that we've been working on have been coming to a screeching halt. And I probably have more redevelopment areas in my district than anybody.
Yeah.
Good work, and let's get going.
Wonderful. Mr. Reyes?
Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank our guests for being here and the hard work, the due diligence, the vision to be able to break down some of these silos and create these leveraging capacities within our own economic environment. But I do know that there are different areas in the city that have different ways of approaching these issues. We have a need to develop more coordination in terms of having access for working with different websites in terms of the WIBs throughout the city. What happens in San Fernando, what happens in Venice, what happens in South LA, what happens in East. They're all different environments, different neighborhoods. So I'd like to ask if, and this is really just a report back, to instruct the Workforce Investment Board to work with CRA and other department programs doing local hiring to develop an access plan in different parts of the city for new entrants to the construction field. We can request an update in 90 days. Again, this is about how we start looking at the different tracks the city's involved with. I know with Deputy Mayor Frank, the commissioners, we've been trying to stimulate the departments in creating access with the contracts that we offer throughout the region. That we have thousands of dollars that are contracted out to entities outside of the city, outside of the state, which means we have very limited impact in terms of how workers are pulled in, how we engage and have the departments become accountable in terms of when they offer these contracts. And so that whole accountability issue and being able to define how we establish these new opportunities is part of the report back that I'm hoping we can have in 90 days.
Okay, Ms. Perry.
Second?
Yep.
Second on that?
Okay.
And then, I don't know if I can add on to, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Add on to maybe what Mr. Reyes said. I might need a second. Just asking the CRA to report back to the committee and council on an annual basis on each project covered by this policy with the local hire results, so we can start
That'd be great.
accumulating the data
Yeah.
to make sure that it's working. And if you guys think 6 months is better, that's okay with me, either way. I mean, a year gives us a lot of time. I don't know. What do you think?
Year's fine.
Year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see more performance in a year.
Okay. All right, then if that's okay with Mr. Reyes,
Yes.
can I add on to yours?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
we just
please.
incorporated, make it one motion that deals with both issues. Mr. President, did I see you?
You did.
Really wanting
Just
to
very
say
briefly, I want to thank you, Mr. Chair, for leading the way on this, and the Mayor's Office, and the building trades and the CRA. In particular, the disadvantaged worker piece, I think, is really important for us. As we look at, I can't campaign in City Hall. Some of you can wear buttons, but we're not allowed to. But Proposition A, as a matter of information, is a ballot proposition we put forward to look at trying to intervene in young people's lives who have been at risk. And I know one of the categories for disadvantage is a history of interaction with the criminal justice system. And if we can get to a place where we have young people who have begun to interact with the criminal justice system, have another pathway out, should Proposition A pass or other sorts of funding be available, we're able to pass this on to the apprenticeship programs that are represented here. And with that, we're really able to not only turn around people's economic opportunities, but the safety in our communities and the scourge of gang violence. So I very much appreciate that, putting the single parents in there. Ms. Perry, I know, is very passionate about working with our formerly homeless population and our currently homeless population, and each of those in the disadvantaged worker piece of this is really groundbreaking. And so I want to thank you for the work that you put in for that piece in particular. And I think what you said, Ms. Perry, is going to be great for all of us to be able to go back and to say, your taxpayer money was spent on hiring people from your own neighborhood who have good union level wages. That is something that is transformative and gets people to have faith in their government again and the projects that we're going to be doing together. So congratulations on this great work.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garcetti. At this point, I have one more speaker. Slutty, you want to come forward? Just don't break anything. But if you did, we have the people here that could fix it, I guess.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. I'm Bill Luddy. I'm here with the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters. As you may or may not know, the Regional Council of Carpenters are not represented or party to the building trades. We are not part of the national group. We're here locally. The council, its 65,000 members and 2,000 signatory contractors, strongly agree with the goals of the project labor agreement that's been negotiated and being presented here for the redevelopment agency. However, because we are not party to the building trades, we would request that this committee instruct the redevelopment agency to enter into a parallel agreement with the Regional Council of Carpenters that will be identical to the language of the agreement here, with one exception over the issue of jurisdictional questions, which under the agreement negotiated by the building trades are resolved at a national committee in Washington to which we are not member or party. Our dispute resolution would be to let the contractor make the assignment of work and go forward. The city and the agency will have all the same protections, all the same stability. We will do all of the same training and recruitment efforts on any given project. Often as much as 30%, 40% of the work is done by carpenters and members of our craft. We are fully committed to apprentice training, outreach opportunities, and we'll be glad to work with it. But as a matter of equity, we would request that you direct the staff to proceed with this.
Thank you. And it's my understanding that we will instruct the CRA to continue dialoguing with your organization. With that said, no more questions. Then on item 15, without objection, we will adopt the CLA report with the amendments. Also included in that would be the Reyes-Perry amendments, Mr. City Clerk. So with that said, so let it be written, so let it be done. Done deal. Thank you for coming. Okay, Mr. Labange.
All right.
Now it's time for you and I. You and I.
It's all the time.
That brings us to item 1, which is this is where our two committees begin to
I want to make an
merge.
amending motion on 1.
On 1?
Yeah.
Well, let me get the Ms. Barclay, if you would read item 1.
Item 1 is reports from the CRA and the CAO relative to awarding contracts on an as-needed basis to a pre-qualified pool of 30 artists for upcoming public art projects in all CRA project areas.
Okay. Ms. Perry, I think you
Yeah.
had some questions.
Is there any
Wait, we've got to have staff here.
Yeah, is there any staff here on this? So I want to ask a real basic question and then make a recommendation on a solution to my concern. Did any artists from Council Districts 8, 9, or 10 make the cut on this? I know Rick Hyman did, but I think he's from CD 11.
Good morning, Susan Graham, the Cultural Planner for the Redevelopment Agency, and thank you for this opportunity to speak with you and having this joint committee meeting during October, which is National Arts and Humanities Month. We went to the trouble of preparing packages for you with comprehensive information about this program. What we have worked out for you is by residence and then also by studio where these artists reside and where they maintain their sort of
So do you have it
workplace.
broken down by council district?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
The very back page in the
Okay.
packet, there's a spreadsheet. So for CD9, we had no applicants. For CD8, no
Okay.
applicants. And CD10, no
This is what I'm going to recommend, because I'm not going to hold this up, because I know Mr. Garcetti wants to move this today. I would like to make a motion to issue a second RFP targeted for South Los Angeles to see if we can stir up and get some response from the artists in South Los Angeles. And Mr. Cardenas and Mr. Alarcon may want to follow suit. But I'm going to vote on this today, but I really like to do some extra focus on 8, 9, and 10 since the response was 0. And I know that there are pretty active artists in the area, and maybe we can help in terms of the outreach for you.
No, I agree, and we really need to have a helpful measure to be more inclusive in that way. Just to let you know, with our outreach, we did email over 6,000 artists.
No, I understand. I
And
understand.
we mailed postcards, and there's a copy of the
So,
postcard.
well, hold on. Let me. So I want to make a motion.
Okay.
I'll
so-
second
I just-
Thank you.
I just-
Thank you. All
Motion
right, so the motion's done. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Just-
So we're going to do a second RFP on 8, 9, and 10.
Well, I just would like to express that if we go through another RFQ process, we could very well end up with the same result or a
Well,
similar result. But
I
what
think we-
would be helpful if we could actually enter into a research contract with a consultant to work with us to look at why these artists are not responding, because we have over 70 artists in CD8 on the mailing list and nearly 200.
Why don't
in
we do the RFQ since we second the motion, and I'll help you convene a town hall briefing or whatever you want to call it, and we'll call the artists in and host an event and in the community, and maybe at the Epic Center or something like that. That's kind of halfway between my district, 8th district, Mr. Parks, and then it's not that far from Mr. Wesson's.
It's fine.
Yeah. Why don't we help you? But I want to get this back out there again because, I just think the response is there are artists out there.
No,
And we can help you get them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Reyes.
So, Chair, thank you. So this will continue, and we're going to take extra steps and more effort, and be a little more creative in how we get the word out
Yes.
and augment to the list in the future.
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Okay, and I just discovered, committee, that I do have several cards on this item. So if you could just stay there, I'll have the public comment come to the table that's to my right. It will start off with Rick Hyman and Juliana Martinez. You run a clock at your committee? Yeah, no good. I got more than 5 cards. I run a 1-minute clock. That's what we do.
That's the Central Avenue poster. Central Avenue Jazz Festival poster. It's nice. And just to see Mr. Hyman setting up, I actually, I met Mr. Hyman because of my relationship with Bill Lambert from UTLA, and he told me about this wonderful artist who happened to have another profession, and that he, was trying to raise his profile as an artist, and that's how I came to meet him, not through an RFQ or an RFP, but on a relationship. And I think this is what we'd like to bolster for you, is really work hard on those relationships and pulling people out. And as you can see, he did a gorgeous poster of Central Avenue Jazz Festival this year.
It might be easier if somebody would just want to
Hold it.
volunteer
Yeah,
to
just
do,
hold.
to do just that. You are, and if we could get the tripod out of the way,
We can see a lot better.
and then we can see it. Okay, now what we're going to do, because we've got several speakers, we're going to limit your comment to 1 minute. Mr. City Clerk, 1 minute. Mr. Hyman, you're on.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, council members. I'd just like to say that the artists on our list represent a broad range of experiences and communities, and they are deeply committed to these communities and the role that the arts play in schools and communities. There's a lot I could say, but as Councilmember Perry said, I met her, and I was at the Jazz Festival, Central Avenue Jazz Festival this year, and the prior year, and it's just a phenomenal event. I met so many people from the community that came out. The second year was larger than the first year. I think they were attracted to the artwork, and it became a very diverse painting. And I saw almost every race there, and as you can see in the painting, we have the Jewish community, the African American community, the Asian community, the Latino community, and the Japanese community.
Wrap it up, Mr. Hyman.
And so we are committed to working, and also at the festival there was a playwright that came for the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, and there is a Central Avenue musical that is out. The playwright would like to use that image to promote the play in Hollywood. So this just shows that the art and the community can work together as one.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today. I work with children. I'm a community artist, and I've passed around pictures of murals that I've done. The common denominator is all of them were done with children in the communities. One was in Watts, one is in South Central, two are in Canoga Park. It used to be really good to be the art kid when you were in school. I was the art kid, but now it's not good to be the art kid because there's no art to do. And when I get called to a school to do a mural, I get to do projects with children that they would never get to do otherwise. They get to touch clay, they get to mold it, they get to paint, they get to see how processes are done. And I might just touch one child that decides they have a future in something they didn't know existed when they felt that they couldn't really do anything before. I feel that I use public art in a positive way that reaches beyond the visual needs of the community, in that I touch the lives of children, I give them pride of ownership, and not one of my murals has ever been vandalized.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, the next speaker is going to have to help me out here because they didn't put their name, but they listed an address on Benedict Street. Okay. Okay, come forward. And please identify yourself.
Amazing. Okay, I'm Stephen Appleton, and I am one of the artists on this pre-qualified list, and I'm going to try to restrict myself to that 1 minute after practicing 2 minutes this morning for several minutes. In my public art projects, I often try to create tangible benefits for the communities through the work's creation process. My first project was at the Metro Green Line in Watts at the Century in the Harbor Freeway. And I began that commission in 1994, the year after the LA riots. In this context, I had decided it was essential for me to somehow directly involve the community directly in the project, not to just drop a work from outside. And so I relocated my studio to 103rd and San Pedro Street for several years, and was able through that process to create an internship program with 13 students from Locke High School who were fully employed for a full summer, and several continued on with me for years after that. In my experience, and I just completed a major project with the CRA last year at Sunset and Vine.
Keep going.
I'm going to finish my statement. This is the unique kind of flexibility that the CRA has to put together resources. In this internship program, I drew from LA City Individual Artists Funds, MTA internship funds, my own funds, and built out this commission, the possibility of working in this community. So I really encourage you to go on with these ways of trying to broaden this list, and I think there are several ways we could strategize about that, but I do encourage you to approve this matter now. There are artists ready to work, and I think there are community needs that can be addressed by this process.
Thank you. Okay, and I was gonna say that you could, Rick, go sit back down. Eric Cavalli, and I think there's a Nancy, I can't pronounce the last name, but it begins with a U. That could be it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Eric Cavalli, and I am an art consultant, and I work on many of the projects through the CRA as far as their public art program. I have also worked in the public art programs for Metro Art with Los Angeles County Metropolitan and with the Los Angeles Department of Cultural Affairs with their Arts Development Fee Program and their Public Works Improvement. I'd like to talk a little bit about outreach that each one of those programs does because it's been a integral part of my job position at each one of those locations, and it's ongoing. And the reason is not only because of the equal opportunities when we're looking for artists throughout the various communities of Los Angeles, but also because it's for the improvement of the actual art itself. We very much are looking for new artists, and in fact, there's been a great amount of research and development in reaching those artists by collaborating through the various programs, which is the County of Los Angeles Art Program, Metro's program, Cultural Affairs, and the CRA. And to do that, they've worked with technology, with databases, with reaching out to the communities, collaborating. Everybody uses a database of emails, an extensive email list, and an extensive mailing list, which is constantly updated. And I would like to ask that you consider allowing the artists who have gone through this process to continue with their work. I do think it's a good idea to consider and to look at continue to do that outreach because we do it and it's very necessary and it's important.
Thank you.
And just to clarify,
Thank you.
My motion doesn't affect the people who have already gone through the pipeline, looking at it on a going forward basis. So the people who are already in process will continue to be in process. Just asking that they go out again and
So that we can
let us
broaden it.
dig a little deeper and get a better response on the second round.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yes, Nancy Uemura, and actually I'm in Councilwoman Jan Perry's district, and I'm an artist, and I did a project for CRA, and I sat on that panel that did the cut for that artist pool. And I just have to tell you that there were many types of artists, and a lot of artists at good art, experienced artists and new artists, and that I think the panel did a very thoughtful job. So just in terms of that particular process, I think CRA is doing a good job in trying to have high quality art and a diverse range of artists and types of work for their projects. So that's.
Thank you. Thank you. And you had time to spare. Thank you very much. That brings us to Karen Mack and Michael Meskia. Morning.
Morning. I want to just echo Nancy's comments. I was on the panel as well, and I do believe that it was a very thoughtful process that both in terms of the initial outreach and the panel review of the proposals by the artist. And the pool that we ended up with, I think, is a pretty good pool. I run an organization called LA Commons, and it's focused on celebrating and promoting the unique and culturally diverse neighborhoods that make up Los Angeles. We do that through public art, public programs like tours and classes, and publications like our website, trekkingla.org. And our focus is really on building community in neighborhoods and in connecting people and places across Los Angeles. We've done public art projects in about 14 neighborhoods. We've done 14 public art projects in about 8 neighborhoods, including Leimert Park, East Hollywood, Koreatown, and MacArthur Park. And because we are about telling neighborhood stories, it's essential that we hire local artists for the projects. That is an extremely difficult endeavor because when you define local narrowly, like a residence, it narrows the pool almost to a level where, we can't find an artist. For example, we're doing utility boxes in East Hollywood now, and we have an Armenian artist who lives in Glendale and a Thai artist who lives in Venice. Now, they are connected to the community culturally, but not necessarily residentially.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm sorry, it's so that I can give everybody an opportunity to speak. We have other items, it's 1 minute, so I give you a minute.
Can I just say my
No, then I'm sure that a lot of other people had a few other points as well.
Buenos dias. My name is Michael Lamesco. I'm a steel cutter. I live in East Los Angeles. I'm one of the artists in the pipeline. What I've learned over the years as a graybeard artist now is that I like to provoke, delight, celebrate, and commemorate wherever I'm working. All of my pieces that I've done over the years have been collaboratives with the builders, the architects, and especially the community members. That's about it.
Oh.
Can
All
I
right.
take a time?
Give her time.
It was a good shot. Tom.
No, come on, 23 seconds. Give her time. That's fair.
Tom. Wait. Tom.
I'm co-chair.
Tom. No. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Let me just say,
thank you. I have to have, Tom, I have order. I had to have some order in my committee. Thank you.
Tom.
Mr. Reyes.
As she leaves, I just want to say thank you, Karen, for your hard work.
Yeah, Karen.
She's brought in, Karen, I just want to say thank you for your hard work. You've brought in many folks who would not otherwise understand what it is to live in the neighborhoods that you've been able to expose. I've been on those tours with you, and it's great to see the reaction of those who do come from other parts of the city and say, we didn't know. This is what our grandfather was talking about. This is where we moved into the city. This is where they lived. And they have that connection, and that's powerful. So thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you haven't gone on the tours of LA Commons, you all in this room should. They're pretty amazing.
Okay, now with that said, we're prepared to move forward unless without a doubt, I have that. Unless Mr. Labange, is there something that you wanted to add?
I think it's real important what Ms. Perry said. I think it's real important that we try to create an opportunity, just like with the joint labor agreement that you spoke about earlier, trying to find artists, and the artists who spoke about being the only arty and being picked on a little bit in the sense that we need to create more people. Art is part of the answer to our solutions. Thank you.
Okay, then, without objection, on item 1, we'll adopt the CAO report with amendments, especially the amendments that were put forth by Ms. Perry. Karen, don't go anywhere. We're getting ready to do item 2. And I think you were going to speak on that item as well. Okay? Trust me, there's a method to my madness, so why don't you sit back and plan how you're going to get 3 minutes worth of stuff in 1 minute, okay? Now, that brings us to, thank you.
It's being creative.
That brings us to item 2. Where's Ms. Barclay, if you could read item 2?
Item 2 is a report from the CRA and the CAO relative to extending to all project areas the services for the pre-qualified pool of art consultants for the Hollywood Art Retention Project.
Okay, so I guess you should stay there, okay? But what we're going to do, I'm going to take care of public comment first, all right? All right, so, Karen. No, stay there. I'm going to let you think about it for a few minutes. So what is this? What do I have here, Antro? Nancy Biaconi, and Ren, my dear friend and neighbor, Ren Brown.
Nancy did a great job at North Hollywood recently with the art festival. Thank you.
Well, if Mr. Labange says it, then I know it to be a fact.
I'm honored,
Nancy,
sincerely
good morning.
honored. Thank you. Nancy Bianconi, Executive Director of the newly formed No Arts Network, which many people played a part in developing this, CRA, Councilman Labange, and of course the arts community. I'm here today representing 22 theaters, 3 dance studios, and 4 galleries, all located in the NoHo Arts District in North Hollywood. The arts community plays a vital role in the development of the NoHo Arts District, and it's actually the district's economic engine that's bringing lots of new businesses, lots of great developers coming in and creating a very vibrant arts area and unique for all residents and businesses. A major component of a prosperous arts district is having financially solvent arts groups. They need to know how to fundraise. They need to know how to manage their business. They need to know how to market their quality programs. And these arts groups can benefit greatly from the Arts Retention Program, which provides this type of training and education. The program supports not only NoHo, but all of LA, and it's a great vehicle to support CRA's limited resources and staff. It creates a great efficiency.
Thank you, Nancy.
That's it. Thank
Ren?
you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to all members of this committee, good morning. My name is Ren Troy Brown, and I'm a fourth-generation Angelino, but more particularly today, I come as the founder and producer of the Ebony Repertory Theater Company, resident company and operator of the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. I want to undergird and speak very affirmatively of this arts retention reality, and that these consultants that have been selected, we have been greatly benefited by particularly the LA Stage Alliance, and the CRA has worked with us, and we are one of the pre-qualified applicants for the Mid-City Arts Retention, and I just cannot speak any more affirmatively of the kind of relationship we have. I can vouchsafe for the CRA and particularly the Los Angeles Stage Alliance as a consultant and all the other consultants, because we're preparing improvements with our theater and just seeing the community. I was born 90 yards from the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, and that is my terra firma, and I want to see economic development and development. I know that if that surrounding community is made better, the greater Los Angeles is made better. So I just want to speak in great affirmation of item number 2 this morning. Thank you very much.
Okay, now before
I just have a quick question.
Before I go to Miss Perry, you know, people are blessed with different gifts, and your voice. I mean, I almost gave you more time just because your voice was soothing, right?
Sorry, Karen.
Whereas, and then when I listen to myself, I sound like a duck. You sound like Billy D. Williams.
Oh.
Okay, Miss Perry.
Oh, I was just going to ask Mr. Brown, maybe do you think you could put Mr. Wesson and me in one of your plays?
Absolutely.
And you know, he's very versatile, so you know, if you need him to play like a female part or a male part, it's okay. Because he's small, and you can just dress him up.
Councilwoman Perry, as a point of personal privilege,
Yes.
do that though. I would like to invite the entire body and this entire assembly.
No, answer her question. She's talking about a part.
Sidestep it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me just say it this way, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you.
But as
Now
a point of
invite
personal
them.
privilege, I would just like to invite the entire membership here in this committee and all of this assembly to our inaugural production of August Wilson's 2 Trains Running. The LA Times has said we had an auspicious debut, and so we're very proud of it, and like to invite all of you, to be our guests, all assembled, and certainly all of the members. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Ren, for. Thank you.
Voice of the speaker.
Show off. Did Mr. Garcetti? Did you want to say anything?
No, it's just, you said you were born 90 yards from there?
Yes.
Were you born at home or in a hospital?
I was born in the hospital, John Wesley Hospital,
Okay.
across the street from orthopedic.
Yep.
But at 1946 Renfall is where I came home.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, John Gallagly. And Karen Constine. Hey, how are you, John?
Yes, that's
Good. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. I would like to put Councilman Labange and Councilwoman Perry into a comedy. I think that that earlier stuff was either they got to get married or they have to be in a comedy. At my
How about
He's
Taming of the
already married.
We do Taming of the Shrew?
Okay.
Go on,
we
you'll
are here
have
for
more
the-
time. I'll make your time
Thank
up.
you.
Go.
We are here for the CRA, and we've been working with the process for 2 years. Because of the structural support that they've given to our small nonprofit theater, Theater West, we've been able to grow our earned revenue, our grant revenue by 50% over the last 2 years. It has to do with learning the educational process, developing the language, and and beginning to make the outreach to organizations that we previously hadn't been able to affect. So as a person who started as an artist and became an administrator, I am an accidental administrator. And I have to learn the skills along the way. So we're sort of building this airplane while we're flying it, and we're thrilled with the CRA's help. One thing that Ms. DeRazzo mentioned was jobs. 15% of the current economy of Southern California is now dependent on the creative industries. That's according to the Otis report that just came out in conjunction with the LA Inc. And that report is online, and I can send it to you if you'd like. That refers to anyone from designing toys for Mattel to creating online video games to doing opera and theater. And many of these people cross over from job to job. So the economic impact of these small organizations in Hollywood are enormous. When you come in the micro area, our theater creates 40% more business for the local restaurant on our corner. That means an extra waiter, an extra cook, and an extra bartender each night that we perform. And that has a multiplier effect that's not even taken into effect by the Otis report. So I urge you to continue this program and to try to continue to help these small organizations.
Thank you, John. And so you should have been here last week. I think it was last week that there was rumors of Miss Perry and Mr. Garcetti.
I know.
Okay, and now this week is.
I'm actually very flattered.
Yeah, it suggests.
That means I still got it. Okay.
Yeah, you did. This week
you never lost it, Miss Perry.
LaBonge. No, here in the downtown news, I was the third hottest politician. The third hottest.
Who would have other two?
Well, they always pick the men over me. You know.
Well, you were the hottest woman.
No, but even that's right.
Your intelligence and your vision.
I even
Clean-
Give it to Jan Perry right now.
Clean it up. Okay.
The drama continues.
Karen, I don't know if you can top that.
I will
okay?
I will not top that. Good morning, council members. I'm Karen Constein, and I'm speaking today in my role as a senior partner in Allison Management Consultants. We're one of the pre-qualified consultants that is before you today, and I'm also speaking in favor of item number 2. Allison Sampson Management Consultants has been working for more than 15 years, specifically doing organizational development, fundraising, as well as strategic planning. And we've worked in communities throughout Los Angeles, couple East LA with Plaza de la Raza, Leimert Park with the Department of Cultural Affairs, NoHo with Deaf West. And we really want to continue doing the kind of tangible work that our company does for the nonprofits that are a part of the retention program that the CRA is doing right now. I think you know that nonprofits today are really facing tough times, and they are trying to retain their facilities and/or just keep up with the rents. And the CRA is really doing a prototype project that is addressing the direct needs of our nonprofits. And our communities are made vibrant by the creative sector in which the arts communities are a part of. And so by supporting this project today and also complimenting the CRA for this forward thinking, we're keeping our communities vibrant and keeping the nonprofits that make our communities so important.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That brings us Terrence McFarland and Tamara O'Connor.
Good morning. Thank you, council members. I'm Terrence McFarland, Executive Director of LA Stage Alliance. We've been in service to the Los Angeles community since 1975. Last year, we served over 350 organizations in the greater Los Angeles area with patrons in all 15 city council districts. We also have served as the lead consultant on the Hollywood portion of the Arts Retention Project. And as John has mentioned, we're really excited at the results we're seeing, and we'd love to continue in that work in the other project areas of CRA, namely North Hollywood, Mid-City. Here it's coming to downtown as well through Bunker Hill. As Karen mentioned, in this uncertain economic climate and with California remaining dead last in per capita funding for the arts, this is the moment to act, to help to support our arts organizations. They're feeling it right now. They'll continue to feel it. And with innovative programs like the one Susan's running, I think this will help them and ensure their sustainability and their ability to deliver artistic product to the great citizens of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
And it is just a terrible shame that, the greatest state, we're greater than many countries, and then we're dead last in so many categories, and that's just, and given the economic situation, things probably will get better, I mean worse than better, especially on the state side. But thank you so much for coming. Tamara.
Nice to see all of you. I just wanted to let you know we are huge supporters of the CRA. I work for Community Arts Resources. I'm the Director of Special Projects. And my point is to let you know the scope of the projects and the people we touch. We are here to engage the public and communities, and I just want to really highlight some of the projects we work on. One of our clients is the Getty Museum. We produce lots of family festivals for them. We pull in all of their artists and their constituents groups. For instance, if an American Indian group is performing, we bring 40, 50, 60 of their constituents to perform. We just did the Healthy Neighborhood Festival for the California Endowment just a few weeks ago. We pulled in 1,200 local kids to engage in movement and dance for the day. We have a wonderful program through a private school in the San Fernando Valley called Project Los Angeles, Rediscovering Your Own Hometown, where for the very first time, 80 14-year-olds get on the MTA. They come to downtown LA, go on a bus, are introduced to artists in Leimert Park, in South Central, in Boyle Heights. Our vast scope of engaging the public is really supported by the CRA. They are so inventive and so supportive of what we do, and we have a database of over 80,000 artists that we constantly pull from and discover new artists to bring arts and community together.
Thank you. And let me assure you that I will send a tape of today's proceedings over to Cecilia so she could hear that so many people speak highly of the CRA. Last two speakers, Dennis Martinez and Karen. You're the closer. Okay?
Okay, 1 minute.
You have 1 minute, and I've just been informed by the wise man to my right that you're a former commissioner. So,
thank you,
Commissioner Martinez.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, all. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak here. I speak as a former Cultural Affairs Commissioner and a current board member of the LA Stage Alliance. I just wanted to echo what you've heard before. The current economic times, artists especially, have been especially hard hit with this current economy in the community. We'd like to continue this effort that you've been hearing about so far this morning. This program has served the community since 1975. As a former Cultural Affairs Commissioner, I know the outreach that's involved with this program and applaud the efforts that they've done so far. We at the LA Stage Alliance also applaud the CRA in implementing a program that serves such an under-resourced community and would urge you to have it continue. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
So the two items are linked by this issue of capacity building. In my former life, I worked at Community Partners in United Way, all about supporting nonprofits and local institutions in developing the capacity to do what they do best. And this retention program is about that as well. And when you talk about South LA, which is where our office is located, it's a huge issue, and for both organizations and artists, because you can put out another call, but often artists don't have the capacity to do public art because you've got to have affinity for public process as well as be able to work on the scale of public projects. So to think about capacity building in addition to maybe putting out the RFP might be a great way to do that, and it would complement the retention program. So we're talking about artists and organizations creating the ability to, play a huge role in their communities.
Okay.
How was that?
No, you were a pro. Bravo.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any, Mr. Reyes?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to ask the staff, and this is more of understanding how we move as one city family. In various planning areas, we have specific plans. We have art fees that go with major development projects. And so this art fee goes towards the cultural affairs, I believe, and they distribute the funds based on whatever programs they're working on. Many council members prefer to have that art fee stay within that site given the nature of the project. It's not always consistent. Sometimes it's relevant, sometimes it isn't.
Included in your
But
packet.
let me finish. So when we finish looking at these specific development sites that tend to be very large in nature, now you have this program that is going to be open from Hollywood to all the project areas, correct?
No, that's not entirely correct.
Okay. I just need some clarity as to where is the orchestration, where's the coordination between these different art programs?
Well, I've included in your packet more or less a report that was issued last year by the CAO's office looking at the difference between the arts development fee for the Department of Cultural Affairs and for the CRA. Our art development fee is triggered only when there's financial assistance from the agency in that particular development. Otherwise, the city's arts development fee applies, and they have their own processes for determining what is an appropriate expenditure and their process for working with council office, and et cetera. With our fees, they're restricted to the project areas in which they're generated.
Right.
Some of our project areas like Bunker Hill and CBD, are well-heeled, so to speak, in comparison to other areas like South Los Angeles, where we haven't had the type of economic development. A lot of our investment has been in affordable housing, which is exempt from our arts development fee, which means that we do not have any trust funds in many of our 32 project areas, and that is regretfully the situation. So where we have trust funds, we're able to implement this retention program because we have the resources. So Hollywood, for example, through developments like Hollywood and Vine that bring in significant dollars, we've been able to implement public art as well as the art retention program. The same thing for North Hollywood, and we're about to launch an RFQ for Bunker Hill, anticipating that Grand Avenue will move forward. We'll have revenues coming in from that particular development. Mid-City, through the Midtown Crossing development, Mid-City Corridors, we're able to benefit, and we issued an RFQ with the retention program in mind, and that's how Ebony Rep was able to come into the fold. So some of our project areas do not have the revenue to support the program.
Okay, so Cultural Affairs has its process. It designates how it wants to implement its program, depending on how those managers and decision makers make their move. And then you have your CR areas. You're looking at areas that don't have economic development activity, and you get to fill that gap through this process.
That's correct.
But, so you got two different tracks, two different departments working separately. Do you ever coordinate?
No,
ever
we do coordinate where we can. I mean, a lot of our facilities, for example, in North Hollywood, the Lancashire Arts Center, we have a resident theater company pre-qualified through the retention program. That's Road Theater Company. And they're in a city-partnered facility. It's a building that the CRA invested funds into for its rehabilitation, and it's managed by the Department of General Services and the Department of Cultural Affairs. So there's automatically a working relationship to look at how we can do physical improvements to that building and benefit Cultural Affairs in the process, as well as Road Theater Company, which is retaining its identity within the North Hollywood project area.
I know we are in a downswing. We don't have as much economic development activity as we had 2 years ago, even a year ago. But I would hope that with my main message to you, and hopefully Cultural Affairs is listening, is that if this council office could have a stronger understanding of how we're moving our art fees and art funds, and how we can enhance our ability to leverage what's in, at least in my district, given the densities that I have and given the levels of children that I have, levels of dropout rates, it's an area that is a big concern of mine. And I guess I'm still smarting from an experience I had in Westlake, where we had a major development. The art fee was paid on the assumption it was going to come back to that site, and it just went away. I could never get it back. And I'm trying to get over that. But
Well, that was with the Department of Cultural Affairs.
Right, right. But it's an example of how we don't coordinate within our own departments. That's why I'm asking the questions I'm asking, so I can have at least an understanding of what this new policy will do, because now it's going to go citywide as far as CRA project areas go.
I think we are in constant conversation with the Department of Cultural Affairs, and we have to report to them on our activities. For example, if we're doing a piece of public art in the street, it's on public property, we need to report to their commission. So there's a lot of interface.
Coordination there, okay.
And we share resources and mailing lists and all sorts of things. But the way that the fees collected are distinctly different. We collect our fee before the project breaks ground. They can't get their construction documents signed off, their building permit, unless they've paid their arts development fee to the agency. With the city, it's a little different in the way that it's collected with DCA. It's a different calculation as well.
Mr. Chair, maybe we can get a report back on how they do differ and why they differ so much. Is that something we should be reviewing in terms of implementation?
I think that'd be an excellent idea. And so what would be
we have both chairs here, it would be...
Well, I think it would be the CLA to prepare a report on the differences just in the
Actually, there was a report done last June about that exact issue, and I've included it in your packet. I've given you a copy of our art policy, and then I put a copy of the report from June 07 just behind that for your reference.
What we'll do is we'll schedule
one item.
We'll schedule one item and have reps from your department or your agency come, Cultural Affairs, along with CLA, and then we'll sort this out and make sure the left hand knows what the right hand is doing.
That would be great. Joint meeting, then it go to our committee too.
Okay, we can do it that way. We can do it, and then we can kick it over to Tom's committee.
I did invite the director of the Public Art Division to participate in this discussion this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, then there are no more questions or concerns where it relates to this item. Then without objection, we'll adopt the CAO report. That brings us to item 3.
Before you take 3, I want to compliment the CRA. They had a little review in downtown about things. They fought for and created the Contemporary Art Museum. It was a good project that they did. So I wanted to thank the CRA. People who are probably long gone from Los Angeles at this point, but those in the past had a vision. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Barclay, item 3.
Item 3 is a motion, Wesson Labange, relative to the development of a new joint-use park project at the site of the former Ambassador Hotel.
Okay, I don't have any requests from the public on this, and Mr. Labange, I don't think you, or did you have anything to say?
No, I think this is a great opportunity. I think we have struggled. I'm going to ask Ms. Kim from my office, who's working on the joint use agreements. We're moving forward with that, so this is an ideal opportunity with LA Unified. We need some clarification eventually on joint use.
Okay, then Ms. Barclay, without objection, we will adopt the motion. Okay, that brings us to public comment. Chuck, please come forward.
Come on, Chuck, let's
The
go.
joint committee has been unjoined.
You can, it's okay.
Been
Chuck,
disjointed.
Chuck, we'll give Chuck 2 minutes. You had submitted 2 cards. I only saw one. The other one was stuck on the bottom, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes instead of the 1 minute that I was giving everybody today.
One card was for...
Yeah, but they were stuck together and I didn't see them, Chuck. So you can split it up however you want to.
Oh, okay, I'll try
just
and do that.
However you want to do it.
Okay, but that one card, I can't speak on an agenda item. One of the cards was for that?
Which one was that? Item 10?
I believe...
Mr. City Attorney, how can I do that?
You can reconsider it.
Okay, well, I still have a form. Okay, why don't we reconsider item 10 without objection? Item 10 is reconsidered. Now you have 1 minute on item 10, Chuck.
Okay, well, I've got my notes over.
Come on.
Which one is item 10 now?
That's the one you signed up to speak on.
No,
10.
it was public comment.
10 is all about the Housing Department award funds pursuant to the Moderate Income First Time Home Buyer Forward Commitment Program.
I'm sorry.
What he said.
I'll speak briefly on that.
Go.
Good morning. On item 10 there, it doesn't seem right because it's a carryover. And moderate income is $60,000 to $120,000. They don't need it. The low income and needy, they're the people that need it because it's their sanctuary, their house. And, the low income program fell through. There is none. And here you've got a carryover for people that make $60,000 to $120,000. It's not right. What about the low income one? That's the ones that need it more. And I went through a rehab program and I saw that the $60,000 to $120,000 on moderate on the fixing up things, marble countertops, wood floors and whatever, but the low income didn't get that. It was because who had more got more. And what about the low income? If the program fell through and it didn't carry over, why should there be a carryover of people that make a lot more money that don't need it as bad as the people that need it? Thank you.
Okay. Then without objection, we will move item 10. Chuck, you had a public comment card as well?
He's on a roll.
Okay. In fact, without objection, we'll adopt the CAO report on item 10.
Herb said there's a method for his madness. God, tell me what the formula is to solve problems. I wanted to bring up a recommendation, CD10 Youth Investment Foundation, to fund needed programs like youth programs, underserved community assistance, a lot of different things there. Bank of America, I talked to them again. They said they won't give Herb the money, but they will fund an organization that you lead. And their 2009 sponsorship and foundation funding is coming up. Can I get you an application and fill it out for you? It'd be a wonderful thing. They come up with the money on that. And, you know, Janice Hahn said it takes courage to reach out while others are silent to lead the way to end violence. Well, you know, the kids asked me to ask Herb to sing it on the choir in Janice Hahn's Gang Prevention, Gang Violence Music Project, which is a strong message through music that will be used to fund gang prevention programs and youth programs in this city. And also, I don't know if you're aware, California has 2 assistance programs for senior citizen, disabled, homeowner and renter assistance programs for people. And also, on September the 26th, 2008, President Bush signed an amendment to the 1995 Executive Order on recreational fishing. And he's saying that it must maintain recreational fishing on federal lands and waters, including marine protected areas. On August the 25th, there was an executive memo on that to allow people access to recreational fishing as part of their program. I hope the city follows in that, because with the closures coming up, there's going to be a lot of city tax money and a lot of local economy that's going to be destroyed forever. Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck. Ms. Barclay, is there any more business before this committee?
No, sir.
Then this committee is adjourned.
Okay.
All righty then.
You thought what? Well,
Not when you cut off artists at 1 minute.